Hello there, my friends. What's going on? What's crack-a-lacking? We're back again. Back-to-back flipping live shows like we mean to do it. You feel me? Back-to-back live shows like we mean to fucking do it. We start as we continue as we start. Big up everybody tuning in. Random show, episode number 219. Big Brown Clapback with your friend you wish you never had, Agostino Zinga. What's happening, everybody? Hope you're well. Wherever this lovely live stream may find you, I hope you are doing swimmingly. Thank you for tuning in. We're back. Big up, 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 big up. Hey, yeah, big up, Bobby. Big up my pal Bobby. Everybody say hi to Bobby in the chat. Big up Bobby Long. What's going on? Big up Bobby. Everyone say to my friend Bobby there in the chat, what's happening? What's crack-a-lacking? I don't know why he's awake this time. I'm assuming he's going to work, so everybody give Bobby a wave. He's only 16. He's only 16. He's a 16-year-old Asian man. Give Bobby a wave. Big up Bobby, big up Bobby, big up Bobby, big up Bobby, big up Bobby. Anyways, we're back. Crack-a-lacking. What's happening? What's going on? Hope everybody's well. Big up Adzi.
Let's.
What's that? What's that thing called? Oh, let's rock. Big up Adzi. I had to zoom in there. Let's rock. I think that's let's rock, right? That's the emoji you used there. I think it's let's rock. Wherever it is, let's go. Let's rock. Let's fucking crack on. Big up everybody. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Pleasure and a chore to always be here with you. But it's always exciting. It's always bloody exciting. Today's show won't be super long because I started super late and I have to head to the gym. So apologies for the late fucking start. I know it's annoying, but hey, we're gonna just get through as soon as we can and just steamroll through the topics. But the main thing we're gonna talk about is Brennan reacting to Dana White. So before we start that, let's start off with Yuri and Rylee. Before we start the Brendan thing, let's start off with Yuri and Rylee. So Yuri and Rylee are back. They actually broke up. I don't know. I don't think I spoke about it, but I saw a video on a No Jumper Reddit where somebody clipped a clip from their, their clip from their subathon on Kick. It is a kind of a begaphone, but they were on Kick streaming. Well, Yuri is and his girlfriend, and they actually broke up. She called him on the phone and basically said, "I'm going in a hotel," all that dramatic and fear, all those theatrics and shit. But in the end, I guess they didn't really break up. I think they're just one of those type of couples. I've said it before on the stream. As toxic as they are, I think they're really, really made for each other. I'm not going to lie. As toxic as they might be, I think Yuri and Rylee are made for each other. They've both met each other at a stage of their lives where they're all both confused. Yuri, although Yuri's like 30, he's still kind of young.
You've been killing it recently with random.
Thank you, bro.
Show consistency. Big up Oz. Big up the bean cheese is Lopez bean cheese.
Exactly. Big up Wingus McDingus. Appreciate you. Yeah. We try, man. We try. Now that I've got this equipment, I've got no excuse. You feel me? Big up Wingus McDingus. Appreciate you.
Freak off.
That's a freak off sign. That's a freak off sign. Open vaginas. Big up NJ Ranger. Appreciate you. Big up NJ Ranger. So to continue this on the Yuri thing, just to give you a quick synopsis, because I'm sure some of you already know. They broke up recently. They got back together again. They're super toxic. They argue all the time, but I think they're really perfect for each other because they're super young and they don't really know anything about the world and shit. And they're both just figuring stuff out, and they're kind of oddly compatible. And they always have these blow-ups on stream. And from what I've seen on camera, in person it might be different, but Yuri seems like an awful boyfriend. I'm sure Rylee has her issues. I'm sure. But I think as a man, you're meant to lead. And you're not meant to kind of, provoke your girlfriend. You're not meant to, gaslight your girlfriend. You're not meant to poke and prod and, and press their buttons all the time. You're meant to try to defuse situations. You're meant to be the mature, you're meant to be the cool, calm, collected one whenever your girlfriend's going a bit crazy or, throwing a bit of a tizzy fit. You're meant to be the one that remains somewhat cool and calm and collected, brings it back down and is able to kind of restore some peace and just be cool. He doesn't do that. If anything, he actually acts way more bitch made than his girlfriend. She tries to kind of quell arguments, but Yuri just keeps probing away. Anyway, recent argument they had now, courtesy of No Jumper Reddit. The title is "This is a comedy at this point," and already by the thumbnail, based on Yuri's hands, I already hate him. He does this thing with his arms, where he fucking throws them in the air. It's fucking annoying, and the bro thing. So already I'm annoyed by the use of his hands, or how he's got his hands in the air, how his face is. I'm already fucking annoyed. So let's see what this argument was about. They usually don't argue about anything, by the way. Their arguments are usually dumb. Where they're gonna eat, who parked where. Did they forget their thing at the Airbnb? Who asked who for food? Whatever. They don't argue about anything substantial. It's always dumb shit, which is usually a sign that you're going to break up, right? Every time you argue with a partner over like menial stuff, it's usually not a bad omen for like breakup. Anyway, that's not the case here. They just argue for argue's sake. Let's see what this argument is about.
Down, dude. Jesus Christ.
No, dude.
Bruh, this is insanity.
I don't like this. Can you just...
Like what? Then stop bitching on camera over
This is
nothing.
gonna get clipped. Please stop, Yuri.
Dude.
Please.
Oh my god. And it's only me.
No,
It's only me.
Dude, I'm just asking you to stop.
She's crying on camera and he
Stop
doesn't
doing
react.
what?
Oh, look at that look he gave her. Look at the look of contempt. Look at the look of utter contempt. Look at that face. That's pure this. Do we have a feeling this might end up violent? Do you think this might get violent? Is there a possibility that this might become not just abusive mentally, not just abusive psychologically, not just abusive with words, but could this go physical? I don't think so, because Yuri's a bit of a pussy. I don't think he has it in him to clench his fist and hit her or slap her or something or push her. I don't think he has it in him. He's a big pussy. But could it be possible? Could this become physical? Because Jesus, I'm sure everybody has this type of argument with their partner, but this sort of stuff seems like, why not just break up at this point? But they're still together.
Stop doing what?
You know what? Stop talking.
No, I don't know what. Explain to me, please.
Just talk to your chats. Like, don't talk
to them about what? All this bullshit that we're going through right now?
Dude, you can't understand shit.
You're embarrassed and then want to get mad at me.
Oh,
Yep.
What was that? What was that? What was that? What was
That's
that?
crazy.
What was that? What was that?
Yeah,
Was that a little push with the cable?
you're embarrassed.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. I know that was minor, but I don't like that. That was kind of forceful. I think the phone or the cable was underneath her arm or something. And he pulled, that was, oh. Is that abuse?
You're embarrassed and then want to get mad
Or
at me.
am I being a bit of a Karen? What is that? Am I being a Karen or is that a bit of abuse?
You're embarrassed.
That's a bit much, isn't it? Like, not even excuse me, babe. 1 second, move for a bit. Just yanked the cable and it popped out from underneath her.
You're embarrassed and then want.
Did she grimace as well? Did she grimace? I think she grimaced a bit, didn't she? Did she grimace in pain when he did that?
Bullshit that we're going through right now?
Dude, you can't understand shit.
You're embarrassed.
Oh, I don't know. That looks a little bit abusey, innit? That's a bit much, bro. Maybe he's one of those type of dudes. You know those guys who abuse their girlfriends? But maybe he's not brave enough to actually hit her. So he's gonna use the stuff he has as like objects, you know, as like striking things. So maybe he might not hit her with these limbs, but he might use a phone, a bottle, paper bag, a door as a symbol of violence, you know, slamming it and shit, stomping his feet as he's going upstairs and shit. And all this on stream, all of this on stream for thousands of people to see. God almighty, Yuri, man, chill out, bro. Chill out.
And then want to get mad at me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And now he's driving as well. This is how road rage starts, by the way. These little arguments in the car, and then suddenly you're arguing with some person in a pickup truck, and then suddenly you're pulling out a gun, and then suddenly, you know, you're fucking playing Mexican standoff in the middle of the highway. Imagine being in a relationship like this and you do this on stream. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this being your life? Because a part of me thinks this is mostly Yuri's fault, because his career is mostly as an IRL streamer on Kick. And on Kick, the part of the thing they do there is that you stream every day, all day. That's what IRL streaming is. And he's doing a subathon, which is an attempt to get more subs on your channel. So the idea is every time somebody tips you, they add another minute to your subathon. So it can continue as long as you want to, or you set an end date, but you know, they can basically support your stream and also add more time for you to do more stuff. Usually streamers will go around antagonizing people to kind of get a reaction out of them, similar to his idol Ice Poseidon, or they'll just do what they're doing, which is kind of on paper kind of nice and romantic. They're a couple and they're doing a bit of a road trip. They're going to different parts of the States, driving around, staying in different Airbnbs, meeting people around there, eating, and kind of documenting their quote unquote vacation. So on paper, it's actually nice what they're doing. It's actually quite sweet. But in reality, it's a nightmare because all they do is argue. They spend more time on stream arguing than they do cuddling up, hanging out and shit. And it's getting so bad now that there's video clips. Let me see if I can find it. There's a clip here of like Rylee having a blast with one of Yuri's friends called Toke, called Potlord. He meets them up there with, I think, his wife or whatever, and she's actually smiling and having a good time. So it's proof that Rylee isn't just cryly like people call her in the chat, right? That she always just cries. She can have a good time, but Yuri doesn't bring out the best in her. She only starts to shine and look semi-normal and have a good time when another man appears who happens to kind of like, you know, make her smile and shit, which is kind of wild because, you know, it can kind of suggest something untoward, which I don't think is happening. I just think it's, you know, her having a bit of a breath of fresh air because she's with people who aren't going to try and prod her all the time, yeah? So, let me show you what I'm seeing here. I think it's a clip somewhere here. I can find it. Bear with me a second as I quickly browse on here. It's one where Potlord is with them and she's literally smiling and dancing and having a good time. And Yuri kind of looks a bit jealous. I'm not going to lie. He looks a little bit jealous when he sees this. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. There we go. I think it's this one here. Rylee's going crazy for her daddy Toke. It's a wild title, don't get me wrong. But look at this. Look at this clip from the No Jumper subreddit. So this is from yesterday, I think, the other day. They're in the house hanging out. They're having this like song battle thing. Toke comes along, Potlord, the black guy here, one of their friends. And look at how different mood. Look at how lovely and happy and positive Rylee is when somebody else is there that isn't Yuri.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. I'm gonna still get you.
You wish you were a white girl.
He's perfect.
He put his arms around, like obviously this is kind of like insecurity as well, because she's clearly having a good time and smiling. And again, this is his best friend. One of his best friends. He shouldn't be feeling insecure because your friend is talking to you. Like, honestly, like, get a fucking life. But he's such a loser. He's feeling somewhat insecure because his friend is talking to his fucking girlfriend and she's smiling and having a good time. He comes behind her and puts his arm around her to kind of remind everyone that that's his girl. We know that's your girl. We understand. We know it. Trust me. We all know. Look at him. He doesn't look happy. Look at her. She's smiling. Look at that. Have you ever seen a stream where Rylee smiles like that on camera? Look at how happy she is. Having a good time, chilling, just enjoying life. Because she doesn't have to be next to this negative Nancy. This like, I can't even understand if he's Russian. He's so un-Russian in terms of a man. He's so bitch made. It doesn't really reflect anything that we all know, you know, stereotypical Russians to be like, which is, you know, stereotypical in its nature, but you get what I mean. It's fucking wild how bitch made he is. But anyway, it rolls on.
Hi, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
I just want you to see the chat, bro.
Look.
Okay, here you go, chat.
Young L.
Really, dude?
She's having a good time. And this is an old clip of them somewhere out, and she's really hyped when Toke starts dancing. So I don't think there's anything in it. I don't think it's that deep. I just think it's when you're in an abusive relationship and you're with somebody that's abusive, and then you meet other people in that group who are not abusive to you, you sometimes just want to let your hair down and let off some steam with them, because usually your day-to-day is horrible. So I think that's what is basically going on. I don't really think there's something untoward there. I don't think Potload is fucking Rylee behind fucking Yuri's back. I don't think it's that deep. Big up Assad.
Rip Call of Duty just salt and pepper on top charcoal.
You're a dickhead. Big up Assad. You're a fucking dickhead. You are a piece of shit, but I appreciate you still. I appreciate you. Salt and pepper on top of charcoal. It's interesting how often people remind me of how dark I am on here, you know. I always thought I was quite light. I always thought I was a little bit more like nougat, right? A little bit more dairy milk. But people always remind me that I'm definitely more on the dark chocolate, burnt chocolate side of things. It's really nice to be reminded that I'm closer to charcoal than I am to fucking nutmeg. You know? I love that. Thank you. You guys are always reminding me of my blackness. It's fucking great. I love it. And then another video of them together crying. Look at this one. Look at this. Look at this. Yuri almost hits biker. Rylee, sorry, almost hits biker. Yuri snaps. Tears. Let's see this. Let's see this one. This should be sad as well. It's another one that's gonna make you sad. People that don't like to hear sad shit. Let's fucking go.
Let me drive, dude. Please. Oh my god. Dude, oh my god, bro. Jesus Christ.
He wasn't even... I love how he says, let me drive, bro, after she did something wrong, but he was on his phone the whole time, and then he's more preoccupied about putting the camera on the mount. He's more worried about putting the camera on the mount than he is about checking if his girlfriend's okay, than he is about taking over and making sure the car's fine and not fucked up. He's more worried about his fucking camera. Yeah, big up Keith T. Yeah, big up Keith T. Yes, well gone, Keith T. He says, yeah, you're yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what? I actually might make some this weekend. I'm not gonna lie. I might actually make some custard bacon this weekend just to try. I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. I'm thinking of putting it in the. I'm thinking of putting some in the baguette, hollowing out a baguette, hollowing it out, making the bacon custard thicker, and having it like almost like a bechamel, almost like a bechamel type of thing, and maybe sprinkle some parmesan in it, some real fat boy big back things, you know, Savoy, crunchy. You get me? But yeah, I might try that. Or I might not, and just be healthy, because you know I need to fit into my jeans. Ugh. But yeah, Yuri, look at him. He's on his phone the whole time when the accident happens.
Let me drive, dude. Please. Oh my god. Dude, oh my god, bro. Jesus Christ. Almost hit something. This is gonna be a terrible.
Oh no, bless her. You know what she's doing? She's so she's like a traumatized pet. Like, she doesn't like the chat. She doesn't like the stream. So I think Rylee is avoiding looking at the camera. And because the camera's kind of facing her, she tries to sit as far on the edge of the seat as possible. I don't think she likes to be on camera. And obviously Yuri's got the stream on the whole time. He never turns it off. The stream has more rights and more priority and more favor to Yuri than his girlfriend. So I think she's trying to run away from the camera, isn't she? Look, she doesn't like it. She's right there, letting up on the side.
Over fucking steak prices.
Yep, that's what it is. You keep doing what pisses me off. I hope you know.
Fucking almost hit a biker right now. You have to slam on the brakes. Yeah, you have to slam on the brakes.
Oh, is he gonna hit her? Look at that face. Look at the anger, bro. the blame game as well is not good with the couple in it. When you start blaming each other and not backing each other up, or not like help, like you did this, you did that wrong. It's like it's not a good omen. But again, they're still together, so maybe it's working for them. I don't know.
It pisses me off.
I hope you just fucking almost hit a biker right now. You had to
stop. Yeah, big up KP Wagwan.
You had to slam.
Big up Eduardo as well. I see you in the stream chat. Everybody joining in. Make sure you smash the like button for me, innit? We're not going to be here for too long. Might be here for another 45 minutes or an hour. But if you're here, make sure you smash the like button quickly for me. That'd be greatly appreciated.
On the brakes. Yeah, you have to slam on the brakes. Relax yourself. You're gonna walk home?
Yes.
Look, over fucking stakes. Calm your ass down, dude. Jesus Christ. Bruh, this is...
The looking at the camera is awful. Look at him looking at the camera. Look at him looking. Look at this pussy looking at the camera. As if like to say, see chat, she's the one that's crazy. You see chat, she's the weirdo. Imagine what an awful boyfriend. What an awful boyfriend, bro. He's literally trying to shame and embarrass and ridicule his girlfriend in front of a live audience. And he's also using them as backup, like saying, look what I have to deal with. Look what I have to deal with. Imagine that kind of personality. Yes, it's a horrible situation. She nearly run somebody over. Cool, I get it. But is it a bit deep enough to be arguing like this? Really? Maybe, hey, babe, next time be careful. I was careful. Okay, well, you nearly crossed. Okay, and then just keep quiet. Let it rest. Pull the car out. Continue on. Hey, where do you want to go? I don't know. Whatever she's angry about. Kind of, let it kind of die out. You don't need to antagonize the situation more. She already feels bad. She's already upset anyway. She knows she did wrong. You don't need to keep reminding her. Do you know what I mean? It's like, wow, bro. This guy's an awful person, isn't it? Look at him. Look how he gets in the car.
Over fucking steak prices.
Yep, that's what it is. You keep doing what pisses me off. I hope you just
fucking almost hit a biker right now. You had to slam on the brakes. Yeah, you have to slam on the brakes.
Look at Yuri's serious face. You're a fucking biker right now. Look how honestly, what a fucking dweeb.
Yep, that's what it is.
What's it a biker?
You keep doing what pisses me off. I hope you just
fucking almost hit a biker right now. You had to slam on the brakes. Yeah, you have to slam on the brakes. Relax yourself. You're gonna walk home?
Yes.
Look, over fucking stakes. Calm your ass down, dude. Jesus Christ. Bruh, this is insanity.
I don't like this. Can you just...
Like what? Then stop bitching on camera over nothing. This is gonna get clipped.
Please stop, Yuri.
Dude.
Please.
Look at that face, bro. Exasperated. But I don't know, man. This could be normal, innit? This could be a normal reaction to all the things. Maybe she just always cries. But this doesn't look good, innit? This does not look good. Look at it. No care in the world. On his phone. Not giving a fuck. While his girlfriend goes through some clear... Look, she's clearly going through it. Doesn't give a fuck. But hey, they deserve each other, man. They fucking deserve each other. I've got no sympathy for any of them. I'm not gonna lie. They fucking deserve each other. I've got no sympathy for either of them. They fucking deserve each other. She's just as much as a loser as he is for staying with him. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Next, we got this clip courtesy of the Final Kid Reddit. It says, "Is this acting or something taken from a couple years ago?" This is this is definitely acting, but I love how they're acting like it isn't.
I think a lie on it. The whole thing is doing with the queens.
Whoa, hey, no.
Juice versus queens. Juice versus queens.
If you could go back in time, would you do it all over again?
All day. All day. All day. All day.
No wonder it ended for them, innit? Imagine getting money from Showtime, HBO, or wherever you're getting your money from your podcast. You invest it into creating a skit like this. Imagine this is what you do with your time. Paying editors, filmers, producers, lighting people, audio people to put this shit together. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? It's no surprise shit ended really badly for them. Well, not ended badly. It has gone downhill for them. It's no fucking surprise because this stuff is fucking shocking. Absolutely fucking shocking. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, really? What the fuck was that? What was that? Someone tell me what that was. What is this? What the hell is it? Why does this exist? Why is this a thing? Why? Why? It makes no sense. It honestly makes no sense. Why this shit exist? It's absolutely crazy. It really fucking is. I swear my life it is. Like, look at this shit.
I knew a lie on it. The whole thing and what doing with the queens.
Whoa, hey, whoa, hey, no.
Juice versus queens. Juice versus queens.
If you could go back in time, would you do it all over again?
All day. All day. All day. All day.
Comedy. As Mark Norman would say, comedy. But Jesus Christ, that was absolutely garbaggio. Absolutely garbaggio to the fucking T. But hey, what can you do? Next, we've got this, courtesy of the T5K subreddit, regarding the one and only George. George is now a part of the Weighing In podcast team with Josh Thompson and John McCarthy. Unlike some people, I don't mind this, you know. I know he's a bit of a redact. I know he's a bit special. But the fact that he's got another gig is a good thing, especially because we all know he's not doing freelance work for Brendan. That whole lie about doing freelance work was a lie because Brendan was embarrassed and ashamed that he fired this guy the same week that he bought himself a fucking Dodge Raptor, whatever he bought himself, right? So he was ashamed that happened because he was trying to save money on stuff, but then obviously splurging money on a fucking crazy car. And the way he fired him was also a bit shitty because allegedly, you know, he wasn't, you know, told in the bestest of way. And he had moved to LA, he was kind of pursuing a career over there, and then he had to kind of essentially move back home because Brenda decided to let him go. So the fact that he's got something else that he's doing in MMA, in podcasting, maybe comedy adjacent, is a good thing. Glad he landed on his feet. And if anything, if we're fair, much as he's a bit of a dweeb, well, don't like him, you know, whatever, don't really think much of the guy, whatever, he's alive, congratulations to him. Let's be fair. He's wasted on Brendan. Brendan doesn't deserve fans of this because he seemed to be a really earnest, a really positive, a really true, a real Brendan Schaub fan and Firing the Kid fan. Like, he was an actual fan. And they kind of treated him like dirt, you know, which is standard procedure with those guys. They don't really pay much attention to their fans. They spend more time worrying about their haters and all this nonsense. When the people that really appreciate you, who are willing to work for peanuts, sometimes even free, you take them for granted. So I'm glad to see he's not getting taken for granted. And maybe he's learned his lesson too after being shafted by Brendan and Thick Boy and Brian. It's good that he's now landed on his feet somewhat and he's got another gig. So I'm happy for him. Maybe not the greatest, you know, indictment of MMA media because we've all heard George talk. I'm not too sure how insightful and, you know, he is when it comes to MMA, but who knows? I could be, you know, mistaken. I haven't really watched the show or whatever, but I'm just glad he's got something because for sure he never had anything with Brendan. That statement about, oh, he's going to come work with me and, you know, whatever, do intern thing that George put up. I think Brendan just did that or said that to him to save face because he was embarrassed and he was getting rinsed and ridiculed online about it. Now the dust has settled, obviously we've seen now, why would you get another job if you're interning for Brendan? It makes no sense. So most likely the intern thing was all a lie, but I'm glad to see he's landed back on his feet. Moving on from that one, let's talk about this, obviously, the main thing we want to talk about today, which is Brendan Schaub replying to Dana White. As you guys know, Dana White decided to put together a pretty petty and a pretty unnecessary video taking the piss out of all of these MMA media people who were really negative about UFC 300. Rightfully so, because, you know, there was a lot of negativity around that card, mostly because the UFC didn't confirm it, you know, really ahead of time. It was almost kind of done last minute. Some fights kind of fell through. But I think I don't think the skepticism around it was warranted. Some of the overt negativity, especially from Brendan, was a bit over the top. He went really hard in terms of saying, oh, they're not doing it right, blah, 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 blah. It's not great. Who would want to watch that shit? And obviously, you know, with Brendan, it's layered because he doesn't really have a good relationship with the UFC. He's had a very detailed and storied, you know, bad, you know, dalliance with them since he fought, since he became a, you know, pundit, media person. So he's always, I think, trying, he always hates on the UFC. There's always a tinge, a patina, a hint, a trickle, a sprinkle of hate in anything he says when it comes to the UFC. And then he has a weird position where he still loves the UFC partly. He likes the events, the shows, the spectacles. And I think the celebrity side of things, which has become a big part of the UFC now, that front row has become a really important place to be if you're a podcaster, content creator type of person. You want to be seen there. You know, probably it's a good networking place, whatever it may be. So I think Brendan also kind of feels a bit left out, especially now that Theo has become like a permanent fixture of UFCs. He watches quite a lot of the cards. He's always there, front row, with Jared Leto and a few other people, noteworthy celebrities and shit. So maybe Brendan feels a bit left out. So he kind of has this weird thing where one day he'll hate, one day he'll try and suck Dana's dick to kind of get back on the UFC. But we all know Dana, we all know the UFC and how they move, and they're a real petty organization. Dana more so. If you cross them, it's basically you're donezo. There's not many evidences of people getting back in Dana's good books. Once he deemed you to be an op, it's basically over. And him and Brendan had a decent beef. I would say like a warranted beef. I think Brendan was actually in the right when he actually first started beefing with Dana, especially when it comes to the fighter pay and just how generally Dana kind of treats fighters. It's never been something that I kind of warmed to. So I really was on Brendan's side with that thing. But I think as the years have gone by, Brendan has become way more pathetic when it comes to Dana. It's clear he wants to get back in his good books. It's clear he wants to be invited to a UFC card and get front row seats. It's never going to happen. So he's in a weird position where he kind of has to hate watch the UFC because that's what pays the bills. He hates it because, you know, he didn't have a good time there when he was fighting, especially towards the end. And he doesn't like the fucking CEO, who's the main face of the company. So it's a bit of a weird place to be. Anyway, all that being said, Dana obviously got at him and put the skit of him on there, or the clip of him saying UFC 300 will be shit. He also titled him and said he was a podcaster and didn't put under his name former UFC fighter, which is also doubly offensive. And then out of nowhere, Steve Will Do It from Nelt Boy's fame decided to just jump in and start rinsing Brendan like super hard, like T-Fat-K subreddit hard. This guy's a dummy. You failed at stand-up. You failed at UFC. You're not like just went. I don't know, out of nowhere. I had no idea this guy didn't like Brendan, and I always assume because he's part of the Nelt Boys and he's like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Jason, he'd be cool with Brendan, but I guess not. He doesn't like him. So Dana now has to clap back not only at Dana, also at Steve Will Do It. So let's see what he has to say about that viral video and everything that has transpired.
RyleeAuto.com/Schaub. O'Reilly. What else you got, Chin?
All right, so this is pretty.
Oh, this is interesting. So Dana White does a thing on. Shout out to Dana White. Dana White does.
Chin is nervous, isn't it? Chin is nervous, but he's also excited because as a producer, you're nervous because you know he's just a nervous kind of scaredy kind of guy. It seems. But he's also, as a producer, he's excited because he knows this is going to get clicks. This is going to get views. This might help him get a bonus or might help him to get a new laptop. He's eager for the drama, but he's also kind of nervous because he knows Brendan might say something that could fuck up the show and that could harm his ability to make money and buy himself menudo fucking shit to put in a taco. So he's both excited and nervous.
It's interesting. So Dana White does a thing on. Shout out to Dana White.
Yeah.
So Dana White does this thing.
Shout out Dana White. Come on, Brendan, man. He's not your boy. Come on.
On UFC 300, he basically made like his version of a diss track of all.
Cringe, by the way. That's not a diss track. He just made a version where he was being petty. He made a video, a compilation of all the naysayers that said the UFC 300 would be shit, and that's what he did. It's not a diss track. Brendan, like, you're only 41 or something. Why are you such a boomer? Like, what a diss track? What the guys will call it, like, because what? Because Drake and Kendrick are going back and forth. You're trying to get involved. You're going to give him a diss track back. Imagine doing a diss track and you're saying the word pillow and soul. You can't do diss track if you can't pronounce words properly, my friend.
All the people in MMA media, not all, he left out a few, but some of the people in MMA media who were kind of critiquing UFC 300. And so he plays this video. Now, I think this was on Saturday, April 20th when he did this. Yeah, Saturday. So I was coaching my son's baseball game, and my phone was on vibrate. It's in like these little cubbies in the dugout. I can hear it.
Beast of a Dad, by the way. I love the story. I love this story already. It's setting him up as a fucking Superman. I was with my kids, what you should be doing. Coaching my kids baseball, spending quality time with my child. I didn't have my phone. It was in the cubbies, away from the kids, which is weird as well, right? Why do they take the phones away from the parents? Not to record and put stuff up online. Or does he purposely put it there? Again, press X to doubt.
Just going. Bzz, bzz, bzz.
His phone was buzzing. Everybody was reaching out to him. Everybody in the MMA space, everybody in media would reach out to him. Everybody was reaching out to Brendan. What you gonna say, man? Dana just dissed you. Everybody, his whole phone lit up.
And I'm like, oh, Jesus. I never checked my phone during the game. It's going, zzz, zzz. My phone's blowing up.
Again, another humble brag. I never checked my phone during the game. I'm a beast of a dad. I'm focusing on my son. He's my main fucking interest here. Not Dana White. My son, baseball. My son, baseball. Beast of a dad. Beast.
These people text me. Our boy Keto George texts me.
Or look at the mention of Keto. Isn't it funny? The mention of Keto George, who's the George guy we just mentioned before, who's now on the fucking Weighing In podcast. Interesting mention, isn't it? Interesting mention. You mentioned Keto. He's never mentioned him previously, but he slips his name in. By the way, I'm a great guy. Keto George, remember him? I kept him on board, even though he's a redact, even though I didn't like him, even though I took him for granted. I kept him on. I still gave him money. Remember him? Yeah, but anyway, I'm a beast of an employer, beast of a boss, beast of a dad, beast.
And I was like, what is it? And he's like, oh, just watch. It's Dana, talking shit again. And then Mayhem texts me, he was like so upset. And I'm like,
Mayhem Miller texted him. So Mayhem Miller is now Brendan's best friend and an anti-Dana White guy. Great.
God, must be.
Which makes sense. I think they had beef, didn't they? I don't know my UFC law well, but I swear Mayhem Miller and Dana don't get on anyway, do they?
Bad. Oh, this isn't good. I hate. You guys know by now, if you've watched me long enough, I don't like beef. I don't like any of this stuff. I was like, oh, man, all I do is give UFC love. What happened now? What's he doing now?
Exactly.
And then...
Exactly, Eduardo Madeira. Remember when we both stopped him? Exactly.
It says UFC Hunter with a smiley face. So you can play the video, Jen.
What's up, guys? As we rolled into UFC 300, the MMA experts weighed in on what...
By the way... If body language, again, I'm not a big body language person. Sometimes I think body language people are similar to astrology people. They can read into things that aren't really there. But if I was a body language person, if I was an imbecile that had a double-digit IQ and believed the moons and the stars dictated my personality, I would be looking at this immediate chewing, the immediate gnawing of his fingers and his nails as a sign that he is very nervous, very, very pissed off, or just in a weird place. Because that's a strange thing to do. As soon as they play this video that you've probably watched a few times, he goes straight in to munch his fucking fingers. Very odd.
They thought of UFC 300, and for all the fighters,
he is chewing those bad boys. Look, he is not. He's placing those big fat DSLs on those fucking MMA fingers, and he is gnawing at them. He's sucking on the marrow of his fucking nails, dealing with Dana White, just poking some fun at his dumb prediction. It's not that deep, really. I don't know why it would send you this kind of tizzy. This basically shows you how fragile his ego is a little bit. That this little video that's not that big of a deal would send you in such a fucking hiss fit. It's like, it's not that big of a deal, really, bro. Like, why are you gnawing your nails like this?
That were on this card when I said this is the greatest card ever assembled in the history of combat sports.
Oh, big up Darksky the Flow. Darcy the Flow, yes, I love this. Self-soothing. DSP bites his fingers. Darkside Phil, one of the supreme locals in the world, and the only content creator I actively root against, and I can't wait to see fail and have to get a real job. I'll dance on his grave when that happens. DSP bites his fingers whenever a black person comes on screen. Oh God, my throat. Big up Darksky the Flow.
This is what the media thought of you guys.
Kick off with me. Makes no sense.
He's laughing, but he's not really laughing. That's not really a real laugh. He's just like no sound is coming out. You know what I mean? He's just, it's a nervous reaction. He doesn't seem, it's odd that he's reacting this way. I thought he would react more like, you take him more of a joke and more, maybe make a joke video back, you know? That might be funny, but I don't know. He seems to be quite upset and masking it by being funny.
Fight on this card 300 worthy? No.
This is the most diabolically disappointing UFC 300 announcement.
Ooh, they did Jesse dirty though.
No, they did you dirty too. You said is any fight on the card worthy of 300? You said no. Both of you guys jumped out the window too hard, which is really strange too, because why would you predict? What is with these people trying to predict if a fight card is going to be good or not? Aren't fight cards predicated on the quality of the fights? And on the quality of the fights, predicated on whether the fighters come into the fight healthy, whether they have a point to prove, whatever. It's completely random. You can have a good match on paper that sometimes if the fight happens, it's a fucking dud. I think Hamzat Chimaev and maybe Usman was a good example. Is that one? There's a few fights that have been like that, where on paper they're fucking bangers, but then when the fighters get into the octagon, it doesn't turn out that way. Fight matchmaking isn't an exact science. There's a bit of luck involved there. So sitting there and trying to predict if a fight card is going to be good is a really strange thing to do. Why not just analyze the cards and break down the fights instead of trying to predict if the fight card is going to be entertaining? It's such a weird thing to do. It's almost like a casual thing to do, to be fair.
Thrown together. Does it feel like the culmination?
Me and Ariel, I get.
We're continually told that it's gonna.
He gets Ariel because Dana also hates Ariel.
Knock your socks off. It's gonna be amazing.
What did Dana say about this? We're gonna blow their socks.
Dana might hate Ariel more than Brendan, because I think Ariel actually did damage to Dana's reputation. Like, he was the first one to kind of call out how mean and, you know, how mean Dana was, basically, right? And how much of a prick he was. I think he was the first one to put it in HD. So I think Dana might hate Ariel more because he might have actually affected how people view the UFC, especially business-wise, how they view him, like, permanently. Do you know what I mean?
So, I wanted my jaw to hit the fucking ground.
I did expect a little bit more from the company to blow us away.
Nobody got blown away.
Yeah, exactly,
Nobody.
Noodles. Exactly, Noodles.
Know
I
the
agree.
sport to be running the show, because this is pathetic.
UFC 300, the worst promoted fight card.
And that's also a thing I think is an undercurrent that exists on the internet. A lot of people that comment on the UFC, that person that said, oh, we need people that know the sport to run it. There's this weird assertion with a lot of MMA fans that they could do a better job at running the UFC than what the UFC do. And apart from fighter pay, that I have a real issue with, as a production, as a thing that happens like nearly every other week, it's a pretty well run organization. Production level is up, is insane. Like, it's a very well produced show that they put on. So the idea that some random YouTuber who maybe knows a bit about fighting could actually run the UFC better than the people that work there is really odd, but a lot of people have that feeling in them. I think because of how haphazard and chaotic it is there, they think it's just a bit of a minor thing, but it's not easy to run something that well, you know. It may look easy, they might make it look simple, but that's the magic and the talent of it. But it's not that easy to run, I would imagine. The amount of fighters they have on their roster, you know, laws in terms of where to post certain fights, judges, you know, health and safety. All that, it's a lot to have on your plate. It's not as easy as people think it is. Just turn up to fight cards.
Ever. Worst put together fight card ever. Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway for the BMF title, which I think is the corniest nonsense on earth. Weili Zhang against Zhao Nian. China's gonna get all excited, and I don't think anyone else really cares.
UFC 300 will be a disaster.
Are you kidding me, Dana White? The most monumental card that there's ever been. You've had a whole year to prepare for this. Aren't you trying to make sales? Don't you want people
Fucking no, he is gnawing at those bad boys, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Darsky the First is right. I definitely see a lot of self-soothing here. This is definitely somebody that's just trying to cope and make, you know, and just try and deal with this shit that he's seeing on his screen from his former boss dunking on him. But he doesn't need to gnaw at them like this, man. Relax. It's not that deep, bro. It'll be okay. Trust me, it's going to be okay.
Actually buy the pay-per-view? This ain't it. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a regular, decent pay-per-view. Regular...
Sitting there watching it awkwardly, the whole thing. Here we go, here we go. What's he gonna say? He's smiling a bit.
Yeah, video's dope.
So he kind of likes the attention. He kind of likes the attention, right? Like a true narcissist, you know. And he's a psycho too, because when he sees himself on camera, he smiles, he lights up. He starts laughing at his own jokes, like it's just fucking wild. So there's a part of him that probably likes it, but you're not gonna take too well to the UFC referring to you as a podcaster. You fought for that organization. You bled for that organization. You put your life on the line for that organization. You had some great fights in that organization. You knocked out fucking Mirko Krokop in that organization. You deserve a bit more respect. And it's not like you fought, you know, at UFC 1 or something. This is pretty recent in the last 10 or so years. No, more than that, sorry. But you know, recent enough history. He should have got the respect needed to be put as like former UFC fighter. Instead they put podcaster there. That's rude. Really fucking rude.
It is dope.
Yeah, it is. So
and it's awesome that he actually replied with respect. That's so awesome.
I saw that, and then what I put up there, I put, why you bring up old shit? Yeah. You know, like I put fair play UFC.
It's not really old shit though. It just happened just the other week. You know what I mean? It's not really old shit, and just because it's old shit doesn't mean I can't bring up that you were wrong. That's how Brennan's. That's what I mean. That's how Brennan's mind works. That's why I'm almost certain that lying thing that he does, it's not really lying. He just forgets. He just forgets what he said because he literally does he empties his recycle bin, which is his memory, every day. It just resets. So everything he said yesterday, he has no idea. It just resets. It's a new day. Doesn't count.
300 was amazing. And then Dana responded, that's awesome. # respect.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I also think, where do I want to start? I'll say this. You'll see a lot of people saying, oh, Dana's so petty. And, you know, if I had whatever it is, $5 billion in the bank, whatever he has, 400 million in the bank.
Oh, it seems like you care about the money a lot, don't you? Is there a hint of jealousy there with Dana because of how much money he's made?
Why is he paying attention to what we say in this? I'm actually not in agreement with that. I think that's what makes Dana great, that even though he could walk away now and he has more money than God.
He keeps saying walk away. Do you want Dana to leave so you can get the job? Is that what he thinks will happen? If Dana leaves UFC and vacates his CEO role, CEO role, sorry. Bloody hell. Chauvinism is infecting me. Does Brennan think if Dana vacates his role as CEO of the UFC that he'd have a chance of getting a job? Is that what he thinks? Or is this just something that all UFC fans think? They think they could all do his job? I think they'd be greatly mistaken. I'd love to see them all try, but I think it wouldn't end well.
That he still pays attention, like he's grinding in his basement.
Yo, big up Assad, appreciate you.
I think he just realized he's lumped in with the random other nobody commentary channels of MMA, which is kinda sad now.
Yeah, great point, Assad. Great fucking point. I mentioned it when I first saw the video. A lot of those peoples are, I wouldn't say nobodies, but they're not prominent names. So the fact that Dana did it, I think, is way more of an insult to someone like Brendan, especially because he went first. You're the most famous name of these people, the naysayers, but you're also lumped in with a bunch of people who aren't that well known. They're on the kind of fringes. They're on the outside looking in. And you are meant to be a kind of an insider as a former fighter. But then they lump you with those guys and they call you a podcaster. Ouch. Ouch.
And that, you know, he's aware of the narrative of all the cards, not just 300, but all the cards. And I think that's what makes him an outlier. When you look at like Roger Goodell, or you look at the NBA commissioner, or MLB, whatever league, it also...
You want Roger Goodell to be what? Like doing videos to Kyrie and shit? Like what?
Even other MMA leagues, nobody cares more than Dana White.
That's nonsense. That's a nonsense. The UFC is successful because Dana cares a lot and he makes these petty videos. No, the UFC is successful because they have a monopoly in all the best fighters and they put on the best fights. It's not because Dana cares about what the media says is why they're successful. They're successful because they run really well and they have the best fighters. They have a monopoly on the best fighters. They don't really have any challengers really in the space of any well known. Everybody wants to fight in the UFC only. That's where the best competitions are. That's where you're really going to get tested. And that's where all the fans are. Simple as that, really. And obviously they started really early too. That kind of helps to kind of, you know, what they call it, to commercialize or to legitimize the sport of MMA.
So to me, it shows that he's not just about money. Yes, is he a ruthless businessman? Yes,
he is about money. He gambles millions every other week. He's definitely about the money.
So you have to be to get to his level and to be a MMA promoter. But he's a guy that's doing it because he actually cares about the sport. And it's videos like that that let me know that he cares about the sport. So
nah, videos like that prove that the majority of people in MMA media don't know what they're talking about. That's the point of the video. He's missing it. He's missing the whole point. The point of the video is most MMA pundits, most MMA talking heads don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because that prediction that the UFC 300 would be terrible was a shit prediction. Because the card wasn't even complete. And the fights weren't done. Like how can you predict a fight card before it's such a weird premise to even start from, and to rule it out. Oh, it's not good, it's not good. It's like, you never know. What if every fight is a fucking knockout? What if every fight is a sub finish? What if some crazy thing happens in the main event? That always adds to the fucking theater and the drama of the fucking shows, of the fights. And that's what people love about the UFC, the unpredictable nature of it. That's why I love watching UFC fight nights. Some of the fight nights are fucking awesome. If you're an actual fight fan, you're seeing people fight like literally for their supper, seeing people put on a show, seeing people want to make a name for themselves. It's fucking great. And the caliber of fighters are always awesome, so you're always going to be in for a fun show, no matter if it goes to distance or it ends early. So to predict that a whole card is going to be shit just because it doesn't have glitzy names or Conor McGregor on it is dumb. Because that's what really they were upset about, these guys, that Conor McGregor wasn't on the fight card. That's what really they was upset about.
So if your take's like, oh, why is this guy being so petty? He has so much money. To me, I'm like, oh, that's dope. That's dope. But also in that video, you know, there's a lot of, some of them I don't know. And that's I'm not throwing shade on anything. Some of them I don't know. And then
he's upset he's not around more famous people. He's upset he's not around more famous people.
Like my boy Jesse on Fire.
My boy, yeah, the one you gave a fucking MMA award, MMA Journalist of the Year, like some stupid chain.
That video was him making fun of people critiquing UFC 300. So he was doing a bit basically on how stupid it is that.
Well, he's not funny enough. Basically, he's not funny enough, and it wasn't obvious enough that he was doing a bit. That's why they put the clip in there. So he has to basically improve his funny, like when fucking LTG told DSP to improve his sexy. Jesse has to improve his funny.
People think UFC 300 is bad. And he loves Jesse didn't fight in the UFC. He's never worked for the UFC. He's never worked for ESPN, Fox, none of this stuff. Jesse goes to the fight. Dude, no one loves the UFC more than Jesse. So I assume he was probably pretty hurt by that. I wasn't hurt by.
Yeah, you were hurt. You can stutter it. I wasn't hurt. Yeah, you were.
Any of it. I dig it. And good for Dana. Yeah, good for you, man. And I think.
What about the podcast?
Again,
thing?
Jesse's was taken out of context.
What about the podcast?
You got to realize that my clip in that, I think that was probably in January when they first started leaking 300.
No, it wasn't. It was sooner. It wasn't January. It wasn't fucking January. I'll actually check his channel. He's wearing that King Shocks hoodie. It wasn't January. It was quite recent. Honestly, he can't even admit when he's wrong when it's on video. This guy's fucking awful. It might have been. Let's see the video. Let's see if I can find it on his channel because he stopped doing live shows now. So it might have been like a month ago at max. It might have been episode number 3. It was episode number 373. I'm gonna click the video now. When was this made? February, not January, brother. February.
I think it was like a month or two after that. Like that's like a month or two prior to the actual fight card, because I was going based off when Dana said this is gonna be the greatest fight card you've ever seen. It's gonna blow you out of the water. When I did that, I wish they showed me going. I wasn't blown. Yeah. I'm trying to get blown. I wish they used.
I know,
that.
Dude.
God dang it, man! If you're gonna use it, use it.
Why is Chin saying I know? Chin's a fucking dweeb. I know. I was rooting for you, baby.
So my critique of it is I was told my socks would be knocked off. The only fight on there that knocked my socks off was Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. Everything else, I went, yeah, that makes sense. That's all that is.
But that you still trash. No, he's trying to minimize it. I'll probably insert clips here when I clip this, but he wasn't like that. He was very judgmental. He was inserting a bit of hate, mocking it, making jokes and shit. You deserve to be in that clip, bro. Just hold your L and keep it moving.
Doesn't mean it wasn't a great card. And then the fights we were given at the time that were announced, you got to realize UFC 299 was cemented, was in the books. Like we knew the lineup. And so I was comparing it to 299. Then also you got to realize is, I'm not these YouTubers or TikTokers or Nelk boys, who are new to the sport. Remember,
here we go. Steve will do it's going to get it.
I was involved in UFC 100. I got out of the Ultimate Fighter house. I was at the UFC Expo. I was in GSP's hotel room before UFC 100. I remember UFC 100 very well. And if you look at that card, it was a better card than UFC 300.
What about UFC 200 then?
And there was no announcement prior to 100 like this fight card's going to blow your dick off. There's nothing like that. You saw it, you're like, oh my God, that's wild. Wild. UFC 200, that card was supposed to be John Jones DC. There's
exactly.
They changed it, I think, on that Wednesday.
He's gonna walk it back
before the Saturday fight, but UFC 200 was wild. UFC 3, so I expect UFC 300 to beat those, which
that's not how it works, man. You're not gonna just have an incremental greats like that's not how it works. Why is he talking like this for? Isn't it most dependent on the fighters who are available? It's pretty like, yes, you would like to have a great fight card to symbolize that number when you hit hundreds, but come on, bro, what is wrong with this dude?
It's almost
M8. Thanks for keeping me entertained at work.
Yes, brother. Big up, big up, big up. Appreciate you too, man. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you too. Big up, Mark. What's it? Sorry, Mark. Big up, Mozark 1312. Appreciate the super chat, brother, and appreciate you joining. Appreciate you joining. As much as you guys enjoy me giving you distractions from work, you guys give me a distraction from life because I hate it. Brady, I'm joking. Big up you.
It's not fair to Dana. It's almost impossible to beat. Amanda Nunes, Miesha Tate, Brock Lesnar, Mark Hunt, DC, Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar, Cain Velasquez, Travis Brown.
It off.
What?
Yeah.
You got TJ Dillashaw on the undercard. You got Johnny Hendricks on the undercard. You got Gegard Mousasi on the undercard. You got Diego Sanchez, Joe Loozon, Takanori Gomi. You got Jim Miller. These are all on the undercard. Those are wild. So I guess it's my own fault where he goes, "We're gonna blow your socks off. You've never seen anything like this." I was ready.
It's my own fault for having too much knowledge and having too high standards.
Blown.
It's my own fault for being amazing.
So and I'm like, oh my! In my head, I'm like, how the hell are they gonna beat 100, 200? So that's on me. I guess that's on me.
I guess.
And right after this, 300 was completed. I rank it second. I still think UFC 100 is better. That's no knock on Dana. That's no knock on the UFC. I mean, it literally, I don't think even if they wanted to, they could beat UFC 100. That's the greatest fight card of all time. That was the best to ever do it. But 300 was dope, but go back to 300 for me. But playing devil's advocate, and it doesn't matter because it happened. So this is just, playing a game here. Say Max Holloway didn't get that knock.
Oh, come on. It happened though. The card is still great, even without that knockout. This is a false equivalency. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Got with 1 second.
Why is he like this? Why is this guy like this? But the knockout did happen. That's what made the fucking card special.
Second left. So say your first fight was Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage. Bo Nickel didn't live up to the hype that was put on him. He's still the man, but he didn't knock the doors off anybody.
Still a good fight, still a good finish.
So you go, all right, that first fight, not great. Then you have Armin, Charles Oliveira. It's a
good fight. It's a fucking good fight. They went blow for blow, toe to toe, right until the end.
Split decision. Okay. And then let's say Max Holloway doesn't knock out Justin Gaethje with 1 second left.
Oh my god, this guy's awful. The way he views the UFC is so much hate. I get it because the agenda's there, but just be real. He can't give credit to anything. And then you want to be Dana's friend, and you're hating on everything.
You have Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. That goes to decision. That knockout doesn't happen.
That first fight in the fucking prelims, wasn't it Diego Lopez, the guy with the mohawk? Starches the Nigerian guy. Come on, bro. Look how it started with a starch, it ended with a fucking starch. What more do you fucking want?
That fight wasn't close. Max Holloway dominated. So then you have a majority.
Oh my god, it doesn't matter, bro. Justin Gaethje could win at any moment. He's dangerous. That's why people were edge of their seats. And Max Holloway beating somebody, bloody and blues, always entertaining because it's fucking Max Holloway.
Decision, all right, well, here we go. And then you have 5 rounds of women's strawweight of 2 Chinese fighters, and it goes to
oh my god, again the casual racism. We love
a
it.
decision. So now you have, let's just go through it. If we didn't have the Max Holloway knockout, this is UFC 300 main card. We're only talking about main cards. You have Bo Nickel.
Why not? No, talk about the whole card. You don't need to talk about the main card, the whole card in totality. Let's see anyway, because I forgot the first fight. So UFC 300 Tapology. Let's see. I forgot the first fight. What was the first fight? The first fight, UFC 300, early prelims. Oh, come on, bro. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Submission. Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. Bobby Green, Jim Miller was a banger as well. They went blow for blow, toe to toe. Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez was a really good fight also. Renato Manchia versus Jalen Turner, I enjoyed that fight. The the other prelim, that's when I remember watching all the way through. Diego Lopez versus Sadiq Youssef, good fight. Kyla Harrison versus Holly Holm, good fight. Aljamain Sterling versus Calvin Cutter, very good fight. Jiri versus Alexander Rakic, good fight. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage, good fight. Arman Tesorian versus Charles Oliveira, good fight. Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje, Hall of Fame fight. Weili Zhang versus the other one, I thought was a good fight also. And Pereira knocking out Jamal Hill the way he did, telling the referee to move out the way, and then starching Jamal Hill was a great fight. What's he talking about, bro? This whole card was stacked. What the fuck is he talking about? I don't know why he's like this, man. I don't know why he's like, but I understand in some respects because he got done dirty by the UFC. I get it. I get why he kind of hates them. I get it, but at some point, you gotta let it go, bro. You gotta let it go. You have to let it go, especially when you're reporting on it. Like it's almost like he's slyly wishing for them to fail. Like if the UFC fails, a lot of people are out of jobs. The whole sport fucking fucks up over. Do you know what I mean? We need more competition. It doesn't, it's too much of a monopoly, I think. But the UFC doing great is actually great for UFC overall. The amount of people it's probably got into gyms, the amount of people it's got started in fucking doing martial arts, it's a net positive. And other fight leagues, other organizations will spring up because they see what UFC is doing and they see the potential of it and the money involved. But they're doing a decent job. Apart from the fighter pay thing and the insistence they put on fighters to fight more to get more money, which then makes them susceptible to be more injured and to have more injuries and CTE and shit. That's really bad. Apart from that, they do a good job.
Under-delivered, so you're not going to be crunk there. You have Armin Charles goes to decision. You're not crazy there. You have Max Holloway.
Yeah, big up Vic. What you call it? Big up Vic Troller in Japan. I've watched UFC since 2000s, and UFC 300 is my fave card. Exactly, it's a great card, man. Great card. Exactly, Keith T. If you like the UFC, then the Rylee fight was good. Exactly. If you don't hate the organization and you don't fucking hate this fucking CEO, the fight was good. Please stop. I don't know. Again, I have sympathy for Brendan because let's imagine being Brendan and fighting in the UFC with the way Dana treated him. That he was there when the Reebok deal happened. No sponsors, all his money's going down and shit. I get it. I get why he hates Dana and UFC a little bit because he was in the belly of the beast and he got shafted. I understand, but you gotta let it go, man. You gotta let it go.
Dominating Justin Gaethje for 5 rounds for BMF title. You know, me crazy there. You have the next fight. So you have submission, decision. Then you go to co-main event.
I don't think the outcome of the fights always predicate whether it's good or not. Just because something's a knockout doesn't mean it was a good fight. So submissions or decisions don't mean it's boring. Some fight cards, they all got all decision and they're great. So this idea that they're all like, he's almost watching this like a casual would. Oh, no knockouts, I'm not going to watch it. It's like, bruh, aren't you a fan of UFC? Aren't you a martial artist? Didn't you only have a jiu-jitsu black belt? Why don't you like just watching fights? Why are you bothered about it being a fucking Hollywood knockout or something? It's like, I don't know.
And you have Rylee versus Yan decision at women's strawweight. So now you have what is that? That's 3 decisions and an underwhelming submission. And then you go to
what is an underwhelming submission? What does that mean? A dash choke, a guillotine. What is an underwhelming submission? How does that exist? He submitted him underwhelmingly.
Main event of Alex and Jamal, and it ends in a knockout.
Is that no good? The knockout's no good then? Nah, Brendan is you know what? I kind of respect him for this level of hating. He's hating a knockout where Alex Pereira was kicked in the nuts by Jamal Hill by accident, maybe. The referee came to check and to give him a bit of a timeout. Alex Pereira pushed the referee away without breaking eye contact with Jamal Hill. And like a fucking savage, starched him. And then proceeded to do that celebration that he did. Just pointing him on the floor. Are you insane? How was that not a great fight? Why are you making a weird face? Look at that. Imagine somebody getting starched and they celebrate like this in front of you. How is that not a good fight? Come on, Brendan. I know you hate the UFC, but come on, bro. Look at that. That's the same face. They actually got the same face. Alex Pereira's face, Brendan's face. Alex Pereira, Brendan. Alex Pereira, Brendan. Alex Pereira, Brendan. They've actually got the same face.
The criticism probably would have been there. Now, thank God it didn't. But and to Dana's credit and to the
Eduardo Madeira, you got it wrong there, Eduardo Madeira. Not stop complaining and say what you would do. I want Brendan, stop complaining and say what you really mean. Because he's dancing around it. Say what you really mean. Let's hear if he says what he really means. Forget what he would do. Let's hear what he says what he really means. Let's hear it. Say it with your chest. Don't be scared. Say it with your chest.
Fighters' credit, like they showed up. That's what makes this card special. They showed up. Because if it went like how I just went through, the criticism would be deafening. It would be loud. But because you got the greatest knockout in combat sports history, I will stand by that, it delivered. And then
during a fight, hold on. The greatest knockout in combat fight history, during a fight that you said wasn't exciting, wasn't something to get you off your seat. Okay.
Just put the cherry on top, knocking out Jamal. But again, take out Max doing what he did, which is stupid.
Because exactly, if it's like, this is, can we just emphasize how much of a non-issue this is? Brendan made a dumb prediction. Brendan's dumb prediction got called out by Dana White in a video that is a bit mocking, a little bit insulting, but not the end of the world. Dana responds to it on social media. Dana replies back and says #respect. I was actually annoyed. You can actually see my comment under Dana. I was like, for fuck's sake, Dana. I actually wanted it to carry on, to be a bit more back and forth. But Dana kind of killed it straight away by saying respect. Maybe Joe Rogan put in a call, whatever. He didn't want to pile on to Brendan. Okay, fair enough. It's not that deep. Play the video, comment on it, laugh on it, move on. This cope and this it's like, come on, bro. You're a grown man. It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
Stupid to say, but I'm just saying, take that out. It's not a great card, main card.
No, you don't say. I'm not. You're not allowed to. I don't care what he says. I'm not a UFC fucking professional. I'm not an expert in the UFC. I watch quite a lot of the fight cards. I watch them all from the beginning to the end. I really am a big fan of watching early prelims. I don't know. I just like the vibe. You can't rate a card just based on the main card. That's not how it works. That's why it's called a card, because there's early prelims and there's prelims and there's the main card. It's not just the main card is the one that holds weight, because then you're completely discounting and dismissing all these fighters who are part of the UFC roster. You sometimes you fight on the prelims to get into the main card. Sometimes you're on the early prelims to get into the prelim. Like, this is all part of it. Like, you have to rate it in totality. You don't just say, oh, just the main card. It's like, what? How the fuck does that work? Who does that? That's some that's some casual way of looking at the sport. And he's a former fucking professional. He knows way more than I do. He should do anyway.
But he did. So there's nothing to talk about. It's great. You got the greatest knockout of all time.
So you're hating.
But also, to be fair to me, remember that clip's taken a little out of context, because as the fight got close, when Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje was first announced, I didn't like it. I was like, why are they doing this to Max? Like, this, it holds up the divisions. No one moves forward. What are we doing? I didn't like the BMF title. Now it's my favorite. That's my favorite title. As that fight got closer, and the more, because when the fight's announced,
so he wants to have a wrong opinion. He doesn't want to get called out for it, but then he wants to be able to change his opinion, but then not get called out for having the wrong opinion before. Definition of wanting your cake and eating it, isn't it?
Announced. I know all the fighters. I usually have a good assessment of how it's going to go. But
big up House of
Take
Cardboard.
out 6 or 7 great fights. UFC 300 sucks.
Exactly. He's taking that. Exactly. He's taking out half of the card to make his point. It's like, bruh. Come on, bro. You're doing too much.
I'm not doing any research. I'm not going back over fights. But as they get closer...
Oh, you see? He's admitting he doesn't do any research. Is that what he said there?
The fighters, I usually have a good assessment of how it's going to go. But I'm not doing any research. I'm not going back over fights.
Why does he do that, by the way? Why doesn't he watch fights on no tape? It's a strange premise. But for somebody that has this terrible memory, struggles to speak the English language, why wouldn't you go back over tape to solidify or maybe, you know, help your point that you're trying to make or prediction?
But as they get closer and it's the week of, then I'll start watching tape. And that's just my, you know, the way I do things. So when Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje got closer and you watch it, that's when I went, oh shit, this is the best fight in the card. Oh shit.
No, you didn't
Max
say
Holloway's
that.
going to win this fight.
He didn't say that.
And he did.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Yeah, I mean, we also, to be fair, before UFC 300 had an episode and it was titled, I've changed my tune about UFC 300. So you were pro UFC 300 before it.
I'm always pro UFC.
Oh, of course.
Like always, but even when 300,
you redacted your criticism.
Yeah, but also my criticism was based off the news that we had at the time, and my doors was.
But it doesn't matter. You still made the wrong thing. He's not understanding that you had the information that you had at the time. You made a horrible call. You made a call that was deemed to be horrible after time. People calling it out. That's it. It's not that deep. Fucking hell, this guy. I'm so happy I'm not like this, bro. Like, imagine having this much of a fragile ego. Imagine being this impervious to fucking criticism or pushback or contradiction. It's like, bruh, you got a pick wrong. It happens to everybody. Move on.
Be blown off. Right. Like I'd be blown away. So that was the criticism. And also me going, I ain't blown. Like, dude, I do a show on Mondays. I got to be entertaining.
No, you don't. Now the excuse is that you have to be entertaining. Your call was wrong. It's not about entertaining. Your call was wrong. This guy is like shambolic, bro. Shambolic, the lack of accountability.
It's like, it's just me exaggerating things. You know? I know. I buy the cards no matter what. You know? I love it.
You don't buy the cards, you stream it.
I bleed UFC.
No, you don't.
But that's the way the news cycles work these days is...
The news cycles, the UFC put... No, the news, it's not the news cycles. The UFC put out that video about you and about others just to poke fun back at the naysayers. That was it.
Groups or people online will grab onto something. And that's the narrative. And you can't ever change your mind. You can never be open-minded at 41 years old. No, you said you didn't like 300. Yes, I did say that 3 months.
No, but he said it. This is the thing about Brendan. He says stuff, he's loud and wrong, but then when he changes his mind, he thinks that you should be listening to everything that he's like. Some people just listen to what you just said. They didn't come back and check your other video. They saw a brief clip of you. First impressions count. They didn't like what you said. They took the piss out of you late after the fact because they remember the thing that you said at the time. But he doesn't think, you know, I don't know. It's this weird. It's almost like it's almost like an entitlement. You feel like people should be like following your every move and like noting when you check. It's like, really?
To go, okay, you're right. But I like it now. Doesn't matter. 3 months ago, you said you don't like it. I'm like, okay. There's people now, even when Dana did that, oh, dude, Dana still hates you, getting roasted. Look at this. I'm like, oh, God. Have you never, maybe you haven't, people are busy, but I mean, I've said this on Rogan. I've said it on every platform I can.
Rogan.
I love Dana White. There's no issues between
us.
No,
you don't love Dana White. He doesn't love you. This is a fake. Honestly, I would much rather he just be honest and say, clearly I don't like the guy. That's obvious. Noted. We have our reasons. You him of all people, similar to Ariel, you have every right not to like the Dana White. You have every right not to like him as a person because you know him personally. You've worked for the guy. You've worked under him. You've worked with him, whatever. So you have every right not to like him. What's this fake? You don't like each other, clearly. It's okay. But you could also be cordial. You could also be professional and get on with the fucking job.
Tell you guys. And I know everyone likes these beefs and all that. And it's fun for you guys. And it's the Real Housewives of the UFC. People love all the drama. I'm not that.
Isn't it funny that he's always in the drama, by the way? He says he's not a drama guy, but isn't he funny that he's always somehow in drama? The common denominators always fucking Bapper.
They would fire me if I was on an episode of Real Housewives. There's no drama here.
No,
I love the UFC. I love the staff. As you can tell, me and Dana have no problems. He commented on my post. Mick Maynard and I talk to each other. I'm cool with Sean Shelby, all the staff, the fighters. I have no issues.
Go to a UFC event.
At all. Hate to tell. I know that's not fun for you guys.
It's a lie.
That's not going to be clickbaity.
It's a lie.
You know, but it's just that's the truth. I have no issues.
I love that he did this video. I wish he would do this kind of stuff more, like have a dialogue with the media more.
Me too.
That's not a dialogue. He was taking the piss. This guy's a fucking. Are they all double digit? That wasn't a dialogue. That was Dana White reminding you all that you don't know what you're talking about. He doesn't want a dialogue. He's reminding you that he knows what he's talking about. You don't. Why would he want to talk to you?
Yeah, like I take no offense to it. The guys that are all worried about it, it's like, oh, Bubba, I've dealt with way worse. Like, this isn't a personal shot. It's like him.
No, it's a personal shot. He called you a podcaster, bro. He called you a podcaster, B.
Just being like, yeah, I told you guys.
Yeah.
Which I think it's dope. A lot of people are like, oh, this is so petty. I'm like, no, that's why he's Dana White.
Yeah.
This is dope. This is dope. It'd be cool if other people did this. You know, because it wasn't like nasty or it didn't go personal. He's just like, oh, really? You schmucks think this is going to suck? Check this out. That's a montage, you know, everyone talking shit and doing their stuff. But, and then you always have people like whenever Dana, you know, we've had our issues over the years, but it's all good, man. You know,
it's not all good. It's not all good. Didn't you expose the rumor? You exposed that you and Dana might be Eskimo brothers. You hinted. You didn't hint. You said it, which would suggest that Dana cheated on his wife with Ronda Rousey, which is a whole nother story, right? That allegedly Dana White fucked Ronda Rousey. You said that during your beef with him, which was a nice burn, but that's not that you don't like people. Like, you don't say that to people that you like. You don't sling that kind of mud, you know? You said you can do his job, but he couldn't do yours. You called him a kickboxing. What do you call him? A kickboxing coach, right? What did he say to him? Brendan Schaub, Dana White beef. It was a pretty good clapback. I'm not gonna lie. He did rinse him. He rinsed him pretty well, to be fair. So, yo, big up Victrola in Japan, I think.
He thought he didn't need the youth core. Dana now has struggling, and Theo, who he genuinely believes he made famous, is at every even hanging with Dana and Trump. This is world-class desperation solved.
100%. As Darsky even said, Darsky even said it underneath. Serious copium, world-class Champions League level desperation and salt. A base of copium with a sprinkling of salt on top. It's insane. It's insane. You don't need a UFC. You don't care. Now all of a sudden you're like coping and rant. What is going on here? What a weirdo, man. What a weirdo. What an absolute weirdo. Yeah, one of these. Look at this. Fucking tall. What does this idiot know about the sport or the business? For you to be listening to one word from this moron. Guy went 6-5 in the UFC. The only thing he could teach you is how to get KO'd. And then Brendan replied, whoa, look who got a break from holding Ronda Rousey's laundry to jump on Instagram. Bravo, sir. He's right. What do I know? Listen to the bald guy who's never been in a fight in his life. Do that. You're a monster. I was referring to guys like, okay, cool. So obviously he hinted at the thing in Bajigi, at the Ronda Rousey thing, and then here it is. Another one where I think that was a recent one. I forgot where the one he said about Ronda Rousey being thingamajiggy. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. I think this is hilarious. Yes, Rogan is one of my best friends. Has played a significant role in my career. No doubt, you're right about that. Don't Dana White. 2 TV shows, sold out worldwide comedy tour, 2 successful podcasts, and just booked my first major movie. Super grateful. However, if it weren't for the Fertitas loaning your ass millions of dollars to invest into the idea that wasn't yours to begin with, you wouldn't be shit. How's it feel to know that once the real businessman left, the UFC has been a shell of itself, with you at the forefront? I don't know if he didn't write this, did he? There's no way Brendan wrote this now. Looking back, there's no way this guy wrote this. He used the word forefront, all these like correctly. How does it feel once the real business / brains left? The UFC has been a shell of its former self, with you at the forefront. You've tried it all. CM Punk experiment, begging Brock to, I've always said begging Black to come back, begging Brock to come back and praying at night for a Conor text. Tough job to do without Lorenzo holding your hand, making sure you don't mess it up. Can't feel good. You'd be a cardio kickboxing coach in Boston in your late 40s, hoping to grab a ticket to my stand-up front row show if Lorenzo Fertitta never saved your ass. Also, this is no way Eskimo brothers should talk to one another. Last warning. Shh. So obviously suggesting that Dana White fucked Ronda Rousey. So this is a pre-epic burn, but also not something that you would deem to be something you say to a friend, you know? So I don't know. I don't think they're friends. They won't ever be friends. Brendan doesn't want to go to a UFC fight because he knows he's going to get chucked out. He's not. No, the UFC would never give him free tickets. I don't think so, because Dana's quite a petty dude. Yeah, I think he'll do his mental better if he just admitted it. They weren't friends. It'll be better that way.
It's all good. I give Dana the credit for, give me the career that I have. If he didn't change the rules and do the Reebok deal, who knows what would have happened to me. I probably would have stuck around to make the money, but he didn't. And, he changed the rules because that was best for his business. He wasn't trying to hurt me. It took me a while to realize that, but
but that's the thing though. He hurt the rest of the UFC. He hurt the rest of the roster, and people are still hurting now. There's fighters in overdraft going to fight cards. There's fighters in debt to their fucking trainers because they can't pay their way. There's fighters who make like 30 grand, 40 grand a year. It's fucking obscene. And if you want to make more money, you have to fight more. But then fighting more opens you up to losing, and losing opens you up to getting cut. It's fucking nightmare, man. So then Brendan was right about calling out you fighter pay, but Brendan was also a piece of shit because once he retired and he started making money, he completely forgot about fighter pay thing. He didn't fucking care anymore. Once he started to become a big deal, it wasn't his problem. You know what I mean? And started to flex and, do his millionaire thing, which, is what it is, but
that gave me the fuel to build the podcast and Firing the Kid and, Big Brown Breakdown and do what I do. So, I should probably give him some sort of percentage, if he needed it, but I would. I don't want to, but
and he doesn't.
He has an argument for that. What if he was so petty, he came for that? He's like, I actually need 10%. I'm like, what? I would give it to you, sir. Yeah, there's no issues.
So cringe. Come on, Brendan, man. So cringe. He's never gonna be your friend. He's never gonna be your friend ever. You're not gonna go to a steak dinner with him and Rogan. You're not going to hang out. He's not going to invite you to the casino. You're not going to be that guy. You're not. It just is what it is.
But whenever this stuff happens, you'll see people online jump
Here comes
on it.
Steve will do it. Steve will do it.
And the defend Dana and the UFC.
Here comes Steve will do it.
It's just like, oh, God, you guys are barking at the wrong dog.
Here comes
man.
Steve will do it.
Like, nobody's more pro UFC than me.
Here comes Steve will
also,
do it.
I've never had anybody that's barking at me that actually has done anything for the UFC.
Here comes Steve
like
will
you've
do
never,
it.
Like maybe give him your pay-per-view money, or maybe you sit cage side.
Steve
like,
will do it.
You've never. There's no blood, sweat, and tears in the UFC.
Steve will do
Bitch,
it.
I was in it.
But they don't respect you though. They named you as a podcaster. They titled you as a podcaster, bro. They don't respect you clearly.
I know how the sausage is made, and I still love it.
You don't love it.
It's also you're not like
Steve will do it.
What's it? Steve will do it. He came.
He's trying to pretend he didn't remember his name. You know his name.
like
the acting is horrible. He's a horrible actor, isn't it?
What's it? Steve will do it.
You know his name.
He came out.
You know his name.
What's it? Steve will do it. He came at me on Twitter. I was like, what? Like,
why though?
He's close with Dana. And I think he's young. I don't know how old he is, but I think he's young. So maybe that's his way of like getting his boys back, which I respect. I get that. But
could you attack what he said though? Let's see that. Will he go after what he said about calling you a failed comic, failed fight? Like, let's attack what he said.
This isn't you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, he does. He's trying to get clout. He's trying to get likes, which he got. He's trying to get attention, which he got. It worked.
You're not educated on the dynamics of everything. And
dynamics? What dynamics?
That stuff doesn't bother me.
What?
I've dealt with much worse. But
Well, like Bobby Lee and the 600 pages, BGL. Malik, what else have you dealt with?
I just think he's ill-informed. He doesn't know, but I try to look at his perspective. He's probably like, wants to ride with Dana, and Dana helps him out, and they're boys, right?
Or Dana talks shit about you to him in private, which is why he jumped out the window. Or Steve will do it like many others, is another homeless cat, another 100 and I don't know what the sub's at now, 100,000 plus person who reads every little thing that gets posted on that sub and keeps up to date with every dumb little thing that you say, and also doesn't like you based on the things that you say and do. That's also possible.
I think they own that, whatever the alcohol
Happy
is.
Dad?
Yeah, Happy Dad. Or I don't know. I assume they have business together, so he's defending his boy, which I get and I love. I do this.
I love how he's like, because he's rich and got money, he can't do the whole like broke thing. He can't do the whole Cheeto thing. He can't do the whole fat thing. He can't do the whole parents' basement thing. Like, he has to come at it from a different angle. He's trying to like, big bro, Steve will do it. Like, it's bro, you were trying to be friends with Jake Paul and Logan Paul. You're no one's big bro. You want to be a influencer content person. Like, let's not act like you're the elder statesman here. Like, come on.
Same. I ride for my guys.
Like who? Rogan?
Do a little research. I'm not this isn't it, bud. This isn't it.
Why? What are you gonna do?
Maybe again, the news cycle takes forever, and he's probably not paying attention to what I do. I couldn't tell you what he does. Again, that's not a knock.
Brenda's rin 16 will do. I couldn't tell. What do you do then? He could say the same thing to you. What do you do? Terrible fight picks. Cover the UFC terribly. And have an unfunny podcast. He could say the same thing to you, so you got to be careful how you sling those arrows, my friend.
Dude, I got 3 kids. We have a mutual friend in Bradley Martin. I love Bradley. Bradley's a close buddy of mine. I love Bradley. Bradley's done a ton for me. Absolutely adore Bradley. So
he definitely texts Bradley Martin about him, innit? Brendan definitely texts Bradley Martin about Steve will do it. Yo, bro, what's up with your boy?
So we have mutual friends, so I don't know. But it's like, I get it. You defend your boy, so I respect that. But you're barking up the wrong tree. Maybe you just saw that clip and just look bad.
Threaten him. Come on, bro. What is this? Threaten the guy. Do something.
Be like, this thing's terrible, and I wasn't blown. So he's like, oh, fuck this guy, And there's, the other guys are just podcasters. I have a background, so there's stuff you can go after. Yeah, I was at world champion. No, I'm not Kevin Hart or Joe Rogan, So you can
oh my God, I love when Brendan does this. What a brilliant cope. Because people insult his comedy and say he's not funny, and then insult his podcast, or question his fight, he always goes for the extreme. Oh, sorry, I wasn't John Jones. No, we're not saying John Jones. We're saying just a decent fighter. You weren't that good. And it was even worse because you were fighting in the UFC when the standards were pretty shit. And when people say, oh, you weren't good at comedy, it's like, oh, sorry, I'm not Bill Burr. No, we're not comparing you to one of the greats. We're just saying you're not as funny as your platform or how you were acting was. Like, you didn't really deserve your position. You kind of got given a boost and an alley-oop, from Rogan, which you should have taken advantage of. You didn't. And then you kind of winged it and went through the motions, and eventually it ended. But I love how he defends himself by saying, oh, sorry, I'm not Kevin Hart or Joe Rogan. It's like, bruh, come on, man. Oh, these guys are brilliant. The fragile ego is incredible. It's a really good okie doke, though. It's a really good, counter. My bad. I'm not fucking, what's his thing? I'm not Louder with Crowder. My bad, I'm not Tim Pool.
I have a background, so there's stuff you can go after. Yeah, I was at world champion. No, I'm not Kevin Hart or Joe Rogan. So you can poke stuff at that. It's like, oh, you just don't know. Blah blah. Failed.
And to think he calls grapes a cuckold all the time for the most tenuous of reasons.
Exactly.
And here he is holding Tomato Man's sack right after being dunked on by
exactly.
him. C-U-C-K.
Exactly. Wingus McDingers. I almost would prefer him to go like scorched earth. I almost would prefer this. But he's so worried about his position in the, because the thing about Brendan, he thinks he's more sophisticated and more like, you know, proper and professional than he actually is. No, this is what you're actually good for. Some beef, some drama, you know, horrible takes. Lean into it, brother. Make some money, man. Get some attention back on you. Like, put some fire back in your content. Get the views up. Like, this is the game he should be playing, actually. But he's trying to be like, I'm above this. Bro, no one watches your show unless you make dumb predictions anyway. Unless you say horrible takes, you get someone's name wrong. No one's paying attention to what you're doing. Use this attention to kind of, you know, bring more attention to what you're doing anyway. Instead of like trying to act like the bigger man, but then you're making yourself look like a chump because Dana clearly dunked on you. Then this Steve Will Do It guy, he's like fucking what, 25? Definitely in his mid-20s. Is just openly like dissing you on his timeline to his millions of his fucking audience and making it known that you're the laughing boy of the UFC, and you're just here like trying to like give him a talk, a big brother talk. It's like, he doesn't respect you, bro. Come on, man. Tell him to suck your dick or something. Come on.
Comedian. Oh, buddy, you don't know comedy.
Failed comedian. But you
don't know comedy.
But you are a failed comedian, though, technically, because you quit. Isn't that failure? If you quit something, didn't you fail at it? Especially a career that was given to you on a silver plate. You don't know comedy. So what does quitting? Does quitting mean something else in comedy?
Comedy, that doesn't work. From your outside perspective, I'm not at Kevin Hart or Joe Rogan.
No. Oh my God, this guy is a piece of shit, really. You quit, Papa, because you couldn't sell tickets. You lied and said this because of your son playing baseball. But you quit stand up and said, I just can't do it anymore. That's why people are calling you a failure, because you quit. You can't then now change it and say, oh, because I'm not Kevin Hart, that's why I'm... No one's saying that. You're the one that put a real emphasis and importance on selling. There's the thing as well about Brendan. He's the one that created this criticism of selling tickets. No one gave a shit. But Brendan started to dunk on Josh Wolf, as he called him. He would mock Brian Callen for not selling tickets. Allegedly, he would be talking behind other comedians' backs about not selling tickets. Brendan made the tickets thing a big part of his identity. Oh, how can people say I'm not funny? I'm selling tickets. I'm on the road. If somebody hates on me, I look at my bank account. Okay, well, now you don't do comedy anymore. What does that say about you? You put all that value in it. What does that say about you now then?
Hogan or Sebastian's level? No. Does that mean I failed? Fuck. Then 99.999%.
Nah, don't get everyone else involved. He says you. Don't get everybody else involved. He was talking about you. Don't you dare get everyone else involved. He was talking about you. He said you are the failure because you failed and because you quit.
Comics fail. If that's your level, then yeah, all of us are failures for about 5 guys in the world to ever do it.
This guy is the worst person
So he's just being
ever.
a dick, you think? Or
Yeah, duh.
I just think he's young. He fires off, and also if, and this isn't a knock on anybody, but maybe Ariel's more famous than me, but you can't really you can't knock Ariel. Oh, you failed.
He didn't talk about Ariel. Stop getting Ariel involved.
In this fight, or you failed in comedy. Like there's no, you can't call Ariel failed. That doesn't really work. Nope. Failed journalist, that doesn't work. So and those other guys, I assume they don't have a background, right? So take Ariel out of it. I'm the easiest target, I have an extensive background in football and fighting and comedy and podcasting. Like there's a lot there. I do a lot of content, But I just think he's ill-informed. I have no resentment towards him. I get it, dude. You're backing your boy, which I respect. But even Dana type, nah, they ain't the move, man. Me and him are cool. There's other people.
He didn't say that. Dana's never going to tell Steve Will Do It to lay off you. If he sees one of the prominent social media content creator type of dudes dunking on you to his audience, he's never going to tell them to back down, ever. Come on, bro. If anything, he might encourage them.
And go after. It's just it's not the move.
That sucks.
It doesn't. It does. Like he's young. I don't know what he does, But also, like, and he's not the only one. Like, I assume he's just protecting his boy. Like, the other people that do it, it's like, but you're not going to get ringside tickets defending Dana. Like, he's good, dude. He doesn't need it. You know, he's good. Me and him are good. You guys don't need to do this. You know? Yeah, with Steve, I have no issues with him. He seems like a good guy. Anybody that knows him tells me he's a good guy.
He definitely spoke to Bradley Martin. He definitely cried to Bradley Martin.
I don't know what he does. Maybe he's just ill-informed.
I don't know what he does. He's so angry. Look at the chin. Just say the kid to suck your dick. You could probably snap him like a twig. He's on roids. He probably can't fight. Just say, suck my dick. Meet me at the fucking Laugh Factory. Meet me at Venice. Meet me at the next, I don't know, TwitchCon or whatever he's at. Tell him to suck your fucking dick, Brendan. What the fuck is this, bro? Stop trying to play nice. Dana's not going to be your friend. Steve will do it. He won't be your friend. You're not going to hang out with these guys. You're not going to get a happy dad deal. Just tell them to suck your fucking dick. It's not that hard, bro. What the fuck is this? You're a fucking trained fighter. You could probably kill that guy with one hand. What are you doing? Honestly. He's stuck in a weird spot. It's like he's trying to curry favor with fucking Dana. Then he's trying to appear cool. Then he's trying to appear unbothered. Then he's trying to be stern. Then he's trying to be be fucking, what's the thing called? Unbothered and not like just tell him to suck your dick.
But I'm easy to find. Super easy to find. Super easy to find.
Here we go. There we go. Here we go.
And we have a mutual friend in Bradley Martin. I text Brad yesterday.
Here we
go. You know, I talk to Brad probably once a week. Brad's a close buddy of mine. Help me out, with my energy levels and peptides and all. Like, Brad's my guy. Absolutely adore Bradley. He's the fucking man.
Here we go.
And he's best friends with Steve, so there's a mutual friend there. So I'm easy to find. You can get my number from Bradley.
Here we go.
If there's something going on that I don't know about, you're so upset, I can meet you at Zoo Gym Culture, Zoo Culture, whichever location you want.
Here we go.
You can meet there. We
Yes.
can talk about it. If you're so mad, we can go in the back room and figure it out.
Yes, that's what I want to hear. Better. This should have been at the start. You should have tried to suck Dana's white stick, because fair enough. But then you should have said, Steve will do it wherever you are. You won't do anything. What you'll do is you'll suck my dick when I beat you up with one hand. That's what you should have said.
You sign papers that you're not going to sue or anything like that. We can figure it out. No, I don't. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how this goes.
Never do that, but I know what you're saying.
No, but I'm saying if he's that mad, it's like
if he wants to,
we can figure it out. Yeah, I have no problem with that.
But you would never. I know you never.
No, I don't want to.
I would never do. Chin, shut up, man. Chin, you fucking menudo eating fucking dickhead. Shut the fuck up. Real men are talking. Real men are talking. Let his nuts hang. Real men are talking. Chin, shut up.
He seems like he's small too.
Let him crash out. Let Brendan crash out, bro. Stop ruining this moment. You're a producer of a podcast. You should know what he's doing here. Let him crash out. You clip this. You put it on Instagram. You add subtitles. You might put fucking, the like that instrumental underneath it, right? Metro Boomin in the future. And you fucking add to the fucking diss record and beef. Like, you go to it. That's what you do. You might superimpose Brendan's face on Kanye's body. That's what you do.
Are we gonna feel bad for Bappo when he crashes and burns? Also, he is bound to get into a physical altercation eventually. Gald dog, John Africa.
Big up John Africa. Big up Eatma Ash. No, we're not gonna feel bad. All content is good content. If he gets into a physical altercation, it'll be great for him. It'll be great for me, and it'll be great for him, and it'll be great for everybody else that comments on this sort of stuff. It'll all be good. He'll get out on bail. He's a white man. He won't go to prison. He'll be able to tell another story about it. It'll be good content. It's all good. Crash outs, crying, breakdowns. In the world of content, this is cinema.
Dude, I don't come off as a bully, but remember, he came at me.
No, you're definitely a bully.
So it's like, if you're that mad, that's an angle. I'm down.
Yeah, if he wants to make content.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, if that's the angle you want to go, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
No, none of it does. Like, even coming at me, to defend Dana, it's like, no, we're good, dude. You don't know the context.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he said, but I mean, that's kind of messed up that he is going after you.
Messed up. Chin, shut up, you fucking dweeb. It's kind of messed up. Not really. Not really, bro. Not really. Brendan should have went back at him. That's what he should have done this at the beginning. All this play nice fake thing, it's not real. Those guys don't respect you. It's going to hurt your ego, which it should. You should tell them to suck your dick and meet me in a parking lot. Simple.
It happens all the time. Yeah. But again, and it's not a bully thing. It's not a cocky thing. I think why it doesn't bother me, obviously I get a lot of it. It's like I've never, ever, check the receipts. I've never had anybody in stand-up, podcasting, the MMA community, whatever community, trucking, car community, nobody that's ever come after me. I've never been worried if you locked me in a room with them, how it would go. I've never had a single person on this earth.
God. Oh, Brendan, man. I was trying to defend you, bro. What is this now? So now you want to beat up everybody. You just want to fuck up everybody. Even the ones that just think you're not funny. Even the one that take the piss out of how you pronounce words. You just want to fuck everybody up. You want to kill everybody, basically. You want to kill everybody that laughs at you. I respect it. I'm not going to lie. His true colors are coming out. The mask has definitely fallen. But this is a wild take. So anybody that says anything critical about you, anyone that comments about how you're not really a gearhead, you're not really a car guy, you're just a rich dude with a card, anybody that says you don't know much about the UFC and your predictions are horrible, anybody that says your comedy is shit, anybody that says you failed at stand-up, anybody that says Rogan made your career, anybody that says you don't deserve your career, anybody that says anything about you, you want to just kill them. You want to be put in a room alone and you just want to kill them. That's what you want to do. RIP them. Unalive them, as they say on the internet now. Funny tactic, interesting perspective, but not surprising, really. Not surprising. The man who can't take any criticism says that anybody that's criticized him, he's never been afraid of. That's why. So you only listen to people or take their heed if they have more money than you, or if they could physically hurt you. Is that how you... He's like a child, isn't it? I only listen to people that have more money than me, or people that can beat me up. Or kill me first. It's like, okay, I guess, if that works.
Come after me that I couldn't beat up. And that's just facts. This isn't a bully thing. This isn't a cocky thing.
No, I don't think I'm top of the list. I'm probably on the list, but I think Unique is definitely on the top of the list. People underestimate the damage Unique did to Brendan's life. Like, he impacted his life, like real life. Unique, that clip that Unique put up on his channel of Brendan giving that note to that girl, that led to Brendan having to buy his mother-in-law a house, allegedly. I think that also was the final straw. I think that was one of those ones that the wife was like, look, if you embarrass me one more time, I'm going to leave you. And if I leave you, LA law is fucked up. I'm going to take half. Like, you're going to be fucked. So I think that was his final warning, which is why he scaled everything back down. He started to pretend to be a family man. Like, Unique really disrupted his real life. Even though he didn't do nothing, he just clipped a fucking bit of a stream and put on his fingers. Brendan's fault for handing the fucking girl a note, allegedly. But I think Unique is definitely at the top of the list. 100%. 100%. 100%. He's at the top of this list. Then, I don't think it'll be me even second. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I've been mean enough, really, to be fair. Because again, I used to be a fan of the show first. So I can't really have it in me to be like as mean as everybody else, because they've kind of met Brendan later down the line when he was a proper dickhead. I knew of Brendan when he was kind of alright. So I still kind of see that side of him a little bit. Even though he's not really redeemable, I knew him first when he was cool. So I can't really be that vicious, because I did enjoy the fight and the kid back in the day, which is probably why I can still handle listening to him talk now. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of brutal. But he'd have other people on his list. Maybe he had even Red Bar second. Maybe Red Bar. maybe Red Bar and somebody else. I can't think. Maybe who's that guy? Elephant Graveyard. No, Elephant Graveyard. Who's the other dude? Maybe you have that guy on the list. Who's the guy that does the sketches? the amazing videos where he does an illustration at the beginning. He might have him there. He might be the one that he might also hate, because he did a very good video on Brendan pointing out his bullshit. But yeah, I don't think I'm in the top 5. I don't think so. I don't think I'm in the top 5. I doubt it, to be fair. If I am, fair play. It'll be a good way to go out. I'll film it. I'll live stream it on my channel, me getting killed by Brendan, but I don't think I'm top 5. Oh yeah, Beige Frequency. Big up Victoria, Japan. Yeah, Beige Frequency.
So I think that's why it doesn't bother me, because I know Steve, or I know insert comic or insert podcast or insert whoever it is from anything that I do that talk shit about me. I know if we were in the same room, you would not talk to me that way. It's never happened. I've been doing this a long time. It's never happened. I'm easy to get to. I'm around, man. It's never happened. Because social media, it's not real. You don't, like Steve or whoever it is, they don't view me as a person. They see the accomplishments or the failures, and it's easy to fire off. You would never do that.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of trolling, though. It's not about saying things that you're saying online to somebody in real life. The whole point of trolling or calling somebody out their bullshit online because it's easy to do online. That's not a demonstration of their weakness or their fragility. It's like a strange defense. Again, it's not that deep. Dana made a little quip video. Steve would do it, did the, what kids do, and went crazy and spazzed out on you because you were getting dunked on. You should have just ignored it, to be fair, or just told him to suck your dick. But this lessons from Papa is fucking weird, not weird.
In person. Yeah. So I go, yeah, I'm older too, so I'm like, I get it. Man, it's not that I'm cocky or anything like that. Black belt in jiu-jitsu, Golden Gloves champ, top 10 in the UFC at one time.
Top 15.
And that's cool, but it's nothing to brag.
And you're also not a black belt. You bought your black belt. You didn't earn it. You bought it because your son said you should have had one. You called up your fucking old trainers who you don't roll with anymore, trained once and then got given it. So you didn't actually earn it, to be fair. And he doesn't even roll now, so, whatever.
Brag about, when you, whoever it is out there, when you were busy, I don't know, doing cake stands and chugging beer and whatever your thing was in college or whatever it was, I was learning jiu-jitsu. You could have easily done that, been a black.
No, you
black belt. I'm not bragging about that. Just when you decide to focus on this thing, I was focused on this thing. Just so happens that thing, when it comes to hand-to-hand fighting, I will fuck you up. Unless your name's Francis Ngannou, Gordon Ryan, Tyson Fury.
Hold on. Is he trying to say that only those people could beat him in a fight? Brendan, bro. I love this kind of ego he has, because I think he actually believes this. He actually believes the only people on this earth that could beat him are the people in the top 1% of fighters.
Fury, I will fuck you up.
Even though he lost to people that were way outside of that.
So that's why people are like, oh man, they hate how you deal with him. Like, okay, I beat him.
And he also hasn't fought in ages too. If Brendan walked back into the UFC now, he'd get starched, bro. He'd get starched. And I'm not even sure if he'd beat up some guys who do martial arts on the side while having a real job. I mean, he'd be taken for a runaround. I think he's overestimating how good of a fighter he is, especially for someone that doesn't train anymore.
Get him up. At the end of the day, take away everything. Social media, lawsuits, how's he going to look here, take away camera, all that stuff. At the end of the day, when shit hits the fan and the social media is gone and cameras are gone and you're locked in a room with another man, how's it keep the same energy? And I know how the energy is going to go. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in rooms with people who hate me. They're the nicest people to me. Oh, dude, that thing you did was so...
That's fair. That's a fair call out. I don't think I'd ever be that person though. If I ever saw Brendan, I'm not gonna ask you for an autograph or take a picture. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that guy anyway, but also don't hate him. Do you know what I mean? I just think he's dumb and says stupid shit. But I get the the people that say the wildest shit would whimper. Like some of them would whimper. Like for sure, you know. As much as I love Red Bar, you know. No, I don't think Red Bar. I think Red Bar has that in him. I think Red Bar is such a fucking psycho. He would probably tell Brendan to suck his dick. I think he has it in him. He'd be that much of a psycho. Like he'd keep the same energy. I think so. I don't know. I think so though. The only thing I'm a bit confused about is that Sam Tripoli thing. Sam Tripoli came to his house and he almost, I don't know if he was hiding or if he wasn't there. I don't know. But even anyway, this is just a dumb point, bro. This is a dumb point. People are just insulting you for your dumb picks, taking the piss at you because you can't pronounce words properly, and the defense you're going with is like I'll fuck you up. When you meant to be a comedian, roast them back. I know Steve will do it. He probably deserves this attitude. Because Steve will do it when he went hard. He jumped out the window. He said a bit too much. He was very aggressive. Maybe Steve will do it deserves that kind of energy, but everyone else, just because they don't agree with your opinion. I don't know, bro. Let's see, what did he say? Oh, he actually did apologize to Brendan. He apologized. Look what he said. I want to take back everything I said about Brandon Schaub. He's taking a piss, isn't it? He's not apologizing. He's taking a piss. I want to Brandon Schaub. The guy is a very nice person. I shouldn't have attacked him. I don't think he's a nasty person. My bad, Brandon Schaub. You're a good guy. I feel I looked into you more. It's no more nasty people in 2024, and I don't believe you're nasty. He's taking a piss, isn't it? He's taking a piss. He's taking a piss. I'm drinking with great pride. Yeah, I don't think so. How much coke do you do? But no, I'm actually high on life, brother. Yeah, I don't think he's being sincere. I think he's taking the piss. Also, threatening to beat up a 25-year-old because he's just dunking. I don't know.
He has a black belt in ordering dominoes.
Yeah. To be fair to Brendan, maybe this is just a combination of the frustration in it. Maybe even if people are dunking on you because you say dumb things, maybe there comes a limit. There comes a time you're like, you know what, enough. Who wants to fight? You know, maybe we should be fair to him. When you get dunked on as much as Brendan does, maybe it's just like, okay, enough. Who wants to fucking fight? Who wants to meet their fucking grandma tonight? You know? Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Oh, dope. They don't realize I know what they've said about me, how they feel about me. And what do? Kill them with kindness. I would never. Would never. Would never. And these are just facts. These are just facts. Now, we can live in a world where these YouTubers and the guys like Steve, his buddies around him are going, oh, dude, you should fight him. Oh, dude, I don't know, dude. He got knocked out by Nogueira that time. There's that world that lives on social media and YouTube. That's not real. That is not, you cannot fight. I promise you cannot fight. Maybe you can amongst your boys and the YouTubers. Cool. That's not real, Bubba. This will not end well for you in any facet. This is the real world. You will get severely fucked up. And that's why I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, unless your name's Francis.
In a boxing fight.
Gordon Ryan or Tyson Fury, I'm okay. So that's how I do it. People ask me all the time, how do you deal with it? Oh, I'm good because I know it's not real.
It's not real because you can beat them up. That's a weird defense, isn't it? But I respect it. Weird defense, but I respect it.
If we're at a dinner party or at another party or even a UFC event, whatever it is, everyone's friendly to me. It's never happened.
Yeah.
No, you might have this false sense of reality where your buddies are in your ear and, oh, dude, I don't know, dude. He blew his hamstrings out just running that time or whatever they tell you. Oh, dude, remember that one time we're at Florida State and you knocked out that kid? Dude, if you landed that on Schaub, that's not real.
He's talking about the blowing the hammies. Oh, he knows the troll. He knows the memes. He's on the Reddit, isn't it? He's on the Reddit.
I will snap your neck whenever I want if it came down to it. That's real. And that's what I'm trained to do. And no, I'm not out of shape. No. I'm at my fighting weight. I run 3 miles every morning, bud. 4 a.m.
No, you don't.
I will fuck you up.
I don't. This might come off as like you're seeing like you want to mess him up, but I'm
saying I don't. I'm saying no. Take Steve out of that's.
Yeah.
Me and him, I'm cool with him. I like the guy.
Me and Case have known you forever. I've known you for so long. You don't want to fight people. You don't. You don't want to hurt anyone.
No.
It's just like if people keep coming at you and they keep talking smack and they meet you in person and they.
What the fuck is Chin doing? This is how Chin gets his MacBook, isn't it? This is how Chin gets his MacBook. Daddy, you're so strong, Daddy. Daddy, you're the strongest one of them all, right, Daddy? Daddy, you can fuck up everybody, right, Daddy? Daddy, you can fuck them all up, right, Daddy?
Really want to do something? Don't do it, dude. You're gonna mess up.
There you go, Chin.
Dana made a video pointing at his mistake. Look what happened.
How soon till Bappa does bare knuckle fighting?
He won't ever do it. He's too scared to do it, and rightfully so. He'll fuck up his face. He might have permanent damage. Like it's not worth it. He would never ever do it, ever. And probably there's not enough money to make it worth it. To be fair, that bare knuckle fighting is brutal. I don't think there's enough money to make it worth it for him. Big up King Bayu.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying.
And I know you've dealt with this so much for the last few years, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but you're a good dude. You've helped us out so much. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Chin is honestly, Chin. Let the guy crash out, man. What is this nonsense, bro? He's not gonna buy you a new MacBook this way.
Want to do
it's
it.
all good.
I'm just saying at the end of the day, like they're like, oh man, how come you don't fire back? I'm like, because I'm 41.
You don't have to.
But I'm also 41 with kids, and also I'm not so insecure. Like that stuff does not get to me.
And you know what you could do to
I
these
also live in the
people.
real world, so
Yeah.
it's like there's this noise where that if that goes away, and reality hits, and they were to walk in the studio right now,
which they would never do, man.
Of course not. That's why I'm good.
Yeah,
let's say for whatever reason they got a feather up their ass, and their boys are like, have a couple of shots, man. That one time you land that shot on that dude from Clemson, you do that on Schaub, that's cool. I will fuck you up.
We know this, man. We know this.
But they don't, though.
No, I think they do.
I don't think they do.
I think they're talking.
I don't think they do.
But
they also know, like, I don't entertain. Like, again, I'm 41. I'm not going to entertain in a Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook beef. It's like, what? For what?
Anyway, I gotta go. Work time. 7:14 here. I gotta leave. Work time. This guy is talking out of his ass. I don't know what this segment is. I don't know what's going on here. What a bizarre way to fucking handle such a light bit of trolling, a light bit of digging and ribbing. He's just literally crashed out over nothing. But maybe it's a combination of him feeling all the pressure and it's kind of coming to a head. Either way, it's fucking redacted. I don't give a fuck. And I do hope his fight Steve will do it. I hope they fight. I hope they fight in a burning cage. I hope Brian's his corner man. I hope Chin's the referee. I hope Chin gets caught in the crossfire and gets knocked out and then realizes that working for Brendan isn't the right thing to do for the long term. I hope Brendan wins the fight, gets paid loads of money and still doesn't buy Chin a MacBook. Then he realizes that Brendan isn't really his friend. It's all a mess. Just enjoy the shit show. Don't know what this guy's trying to do. Anyways, thank you for hanging out, guys. Been a pleasure. Never a chore. I got to rush and head off to work now. Thank you for hanging out, my friends.